The first time I thought about the priesthood was from an early age. I was 12 years old. I had a realization about the shortness of life and that I was going to die. That question of death really kind of prompted a lot of further questions about the meaning of life, how I wanted to live my life, if there was something beyond this life for which I should aim. I wanted to live my life with significant consequences, and actually eternal consequences. I found the solution really in the resurrection of Christ, that He was the one who solved the problem of death and held out that promise for me as well. So I knew I wanted to give myself in service to the church, to God and His people. And I thought that medicine would be a good way to do that. But my junior year, during the summer, I went to Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and was kind of struggling with that issue. And I had, at the end of the summer, kind of decided that I wasn't going to apply to medical school, that I was just going to focus on vocation to the priesthood and give God that opportunity to work in my life. It was a little bit of a back and forth, but you know, God really did in the end clear the way, and really once I did give myself wholeheartedly to theology and the possibility of concrete vocation to the priesthood, the path just became, things just kind of fell into place more and more. When I was an undergrad, I studied pre-medicine and theology. I lived in the dorms, and so got a real sense of fraternity. The dorms were single-gendered, and so they really fostered a sense of fraternity and community. And also having priests in residence was very helpful, to have father figures with whom I could speak, to whom I looked up. I first thought about the Dominicans when I was in graduate school at Notre Dame. It was in an intensive Greek course, and it just happened to be that I had a Dominican brother in my class. And so by becoming his friend and getting to know the Dominican life, beginning with him, and then in rapid succession through other Dominican friars with whom I met, all of my desires and experiences really kind of were integrated in the Dominican way of life, with prayer, study, mission, preaching, community. It all was right there. I really believe that the priesthood really unfolds from the mystery of the Incarnation. And I was very happy that Archbishop Denoya did mention that in his homily. The mystery of the Incarnation and God's pouring down of His divine love into our world in the person of Christ in an incarnate way. That's something that always astounds me, and it's profound to reflect on and to meditate upon. To realize the sacrament that I received, Holy Orders, is God's way of incorporating me into that mystery, inviting me to take part in His work of salvation that culminated in the Incarnation and the death, resurrection, and ascension of Christ to heaven. It's always very humbling to realize that God has thought about this for me from all eternity. Every morning I have an appreciation, a realization of my priestly identity. So I just thank God for making me His priest. My first assignment is here at Providence College, and I've been assigned to teach theology here on the faculty. So I'm very much looking forward to taking all the fruits of my contemplation and study and really handing them on to my students, and really to excite them to the truths of the faith, the truths of our Catholic culture and heritage, and really to help them to get to know Christ in a more personal way than they had before.